Good evening and welcome to Prime Edition. 2 days of intense and robust discussions focusing on the health sector in Kenya and how to improve the delivery of the universal health care. President William Ruto, of course, committing the government and indeed SHA to reviewing some of the gaps that have been identified by patients who have been using the medical insurance fund, that is SHA. Also tonight, we'll be focusing on the state of our highways. With us tonight is the chairperson of the Board of Directors, Kenha, Winnie Ngumi, to talk to us about the progress of the highways you're seeing being constructed, and probably if there are those that are stalled, what is the plan by Kenha. Welcome to Prime Edition. Here are tonight's highlights.
For a review on areas that citizens like you, Wanjiru, has come back to us and say there is this pain point.
Kenya Health Summit concludes. President William Ruto calls for review of the current health insurance benefit package following concerns raised by patients over the cost of treatment. Samburu chopper crash, 7 dead, among them the pilot, after a light aircraft crashed at Sapache Hill near Mount Ololokwe in Samburu County Wednesday morning. And police inaction and laxity. Opposition blames security operators for the recent wave of violent attacks witnessed at their rallies. My name is John Jacob Kioria, our sign language interpreter. Tonight is Byron Abuli. Shortly we'll be focusing on the outcomes of the 2-day health summit that was presided over by President William Ruto. But before that, some sad news here. The Kenya Civil Aviation Authority has commenced investigations into the cause of a helicopter crash at the Mount Ololokwe in Samburu County that killed all its 7 occupants. KCAA, while confirming the aircraft accident, said it involved a Eurocopter FC-130 B4 registration 5YGYM. According to KCAA, the aircraft was from Loisaba heading to Ewasonyiro when the accident occurred at approximately 9:13 a.m.
On Wednesday, 7 people, including the pilot, were confirmed dead after a helicopter crashed at Sapache Hill near Mount Ololokwe in Samburu County. In a press release, Kenya Civil Aviation Authority, KCAA, said the aircraft was on a flight from Loisaba heading to Ewasonyiro when the accident occurred at approximately 0:13 hours local time. KCAA says the Ministry of Roads and Transport and Air Accident Investigations Department have commenced investigations into the circumstances surrounding the cause of the crash. The accident involved a Eurocopter EC-130 B4 registration 51GYM.
If you're a parent, there's some statistics you need to listen to here. And interestingly so, 27% of grade 7 learners cannot read and comprehend a grade 3 level English story. In a damning report by Usawa Agenda that casts shadows on the quality of education being offered in many schools, learners in better resourced senior schools are more than 8 times likely to attain a mean grade of C+ or above compared to those in Cluster 4 schools.
With a week to go until schools reopen for 3rd term, education stakeholders are raising concerns on the quality of education being offered and whether learners are acquiring basic skills. 2 reports released by an education lobby group, Usawa Agenda, focusing on junior schools and senior schools, point to glaring gaps in learning outcomes, infrastructure, staffing, financing, and schools' leadership.
The picture we paint today is not entirely gloomy. There are positives on enrollment that I need to point out.
But a percentage of our children are not learning, though we would want all our children to go to school and learn.
A survey sampling 50,000 children spread across 1,500 junior schools revealed the shocking reality of basic education, with the report showing that 27% of grade 7 learners cannot read and comprehend a grade 3 level English story. 33% of grade 7 learners cannot solve a grade 3 level numeracy problem, while 41% of grade 7 learners lack both foundational literacy and numeracy proficiency. 1 in 5 grade 9 learners cannot read with comprehension grade 3 work.
And those are challenges to us and to all stakeholders in the sector to start to put weight on foundational learning.
We've also seen that we have an issue with the boys, the gender specifically, them not achieving the competencies.
In what exposes disparities in the quality of education in senior schools, the report shows that Cluster 1 schools are better equipped with greater access to science laboratories, libraries, computers, and other learning resources, compared to Class 4 schools, where a majority of learners are, giving Cluster 1 learners a competitive edge over their colleagues in Cluster 4 schools.
And what does that tell us? As much as, yes, we are all fighting for this cluster, so are we really solving the education injustices that actually persist in our education system?
Joseph Wahungu for Prime Edition.
In the meantime, the United Opposition leaders and the Linda Mwananchi faction are alleging police inaction and lethargy following the recent wave of violent attacks witnessed at their rallies. The leaders accused the police of standing by as goons wreaked havoc and unleashed violence on opposition leaders.
The United Opposition leaders and the Linda Mwananchi Brigade have raised alarm over the recent events in Nakuru, Homa Bay and Bomet counties, which they now claim amounts to electoral violence, warranting the attention of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IBC.
Electoral and Boundaries Commission to work closely with all relevant institutions to ensure that every Kenyan can vote freely, peacefully and without fear.
Led by PLP leader Martha Karua, Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka, and other opposition ally luminaries, they accused the National Police Service of being lethargic in their handling of goons.
Taken together, they reveal a disturbing pattern that raises fundamental questions about the neutrality of our security institutions, the protection of constitutional freedoms.
The Luo community is intact. They will make independent decisions. They will listen to everybody.
The opposition leaders want heads rolling to reinforce accountability. So far, 37 individuals have been arrested following the incident. Abdiaziz Hashim for Prime Edition.
The State Department for Trade is on the spot for spending at least 1 million shillings on photocopying papers for the Office of the Cabinet Secretary. National Assembly Public Accounts Committee took Trade Principal Secretary Regina Umbam to task over the value for money in the supply of furniture, stationery and air tickets for the Office of a Cabinet Secretary. Meanwhile, the committee has also rebuked Investment Promotion Principal Secretary Abu Bakr Hassan for what they term as being casual in responding to audit queries raised in the Watchdog Committee.
Two principal secretaries in the Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry appeared before the National Assembly Public Accounts Committee to respond to audit queries for the financial years 2023-2024 and 2024-2025. Investment Promotion PS Abu Bakr Hassan was the first on the hot seat, facing difficulties in explaining errors that were picked by the Watchdog Committee in his responses.
So there is one that has got 69 million and another one that has got 70 million. And now they are referring to the other one of 70 million. They forgot that they gave the auditor the 69 one. Because where is that figure coming from, the 70 million? And here it's 69 million.
I don't understand, Chair, how such an error can be committed, because it should have been detected by the examiner before that voucher even moves for signing to the accountant. If it misses the examination stage, then the internal auditor should have detected it, because it looks at the voucher before it is paid.
It was not brought to my attention. When you say you want to clear the report and the audit queries are here, You know, you have repeated that statement now 3 times. Yes.
Chair, okay, with due respect, I thought they are not queries, they are just concerns. Which
are you sure, my brother? What are you saying?
Probably before you come back, you must spare time to read the audit report to understand the issue. The Court of says is not your colleagues. So if you have to reprimand or take any sanction, will be against you, not your colleagues.
The MP is concerned about the capacity and diligence of the State Department's accounting and finance teams and effectiveness of internal controls in the State Department, stepped down PS Abubakar, directing him to prepare a more thorough response. Trade PS Regina Ombam similarly came under fire, explaining the value for money in an expenditure of over 1 million shillings on photocopying papers for the office of the Cabinet Secretary.
Can you justify an expenditure of 2.2 million on furniture and an expenditure of 1 million on photocopying papers?
Are we getting value for money here? That's the whole question he's asking. It's not a bad question. I'm sure the photocopying papers for the office of the CS, I would understand if it's PS because it's operational. CS and a manufacturer.
If you could actually just allow me to go back and get that full information regarding the supply of furniture then, the supply of stationery then, and the issue of the air tickets as indicated here then, so that I can be able to furnish you with the right information regarding this spending bill.
The MPs have similarly raised alarm over under-establishment in the two state departments, warning staffing gaps might affect service delivery. Gisho Kiwashira, Prime Edition.
A report by Gisho Kiwashira takes us to a very fast breather right here on Prime Edition. Don't go too far. We're coming back with more news, including that very interview with the chairperson of the board of directors, Kenha. Let's look at the state of our highways shortly.
The wait is over. KBC Iko Huduma Center. Kupata huduma za KBC imekuwa rahisi. From digital guidance and signet services to booking of commercial adverts and documentaries. Visit our dedicated desks at Huduma Center GPO, Times Square, Makadara, Kibera or Isili. Tunakungoja hapo. Whether it's a casual announcement or a specialized media solution for your business, we are here to serve you. KBC at Huduma Centers. Moving closer to you. Your station, your service.
Gaela Tikaya la patrona, Gilda Sambendengese.
For the men and women of South, Mambo ni matatu. 1, KBC Channel 1. 2, Saturday. And 3, Rumba.
Vile tu wamesema rumba, nimeingia ndani ya nyumba, ndani ya kipindi, nikupatie miziki ya rumba, miziki tamu sana.
Every Saturday from 10 p.m. to midnight. Join me, Simeon Mfumu Kimbangu, the Rumba Supreme Leader, alongside
DJ Mato Sibor mwenyewe.
Rumba ya PDG ndani ya Bridge over Congo, KBC Channel 1, Toleka.
Lights on, volume up. This is where stories come alive. From local drama that hits close to home.
Alinivamia akiwa na vijana wengine wawili. Toka nje. Hii nyumba yako.
Yote ni porojo. To international series everyone's talking about. Stories that pull you in. Characters you won't forget.
Stop complaining and just get out of here. Go now, go.
We turn up the volume with music that moves, showcases rising stars and bring the beat straight to your living room. And when it's time to talk, we don't hold back.
How is everything going?
Real conversations, Big personalities, the issues, the loves, the moment everyone's debating the next day. Every show, every night, different voices, one destination. This is television that feels alive, unpredictable, and missable.
Welcome back. You're watching Prime Edition. Let's go back to our top story tonight. And President William Ruto has directed the Ministry of Health and the Social Health Authority, SHA, to review gaps in the current health insurance benefit package following concerns raised by patients over the costs of treatment. Speaking during the Kenya Health Summit at the Kenyatta International Convention Center, KICC, in Nairobi, the president said the government is keen on working on the shortcomings highlighted by Kenyans during their interaction with the insurance fund. In the directive, Ruto said the review must be based on the actual cost and the government's ability to sustain any new commitments.
The president was responding to concerns raised by patients with kidney disease who called for expanded coverage for acute kidney injury and greater access to kidney transplants. Concerns raised during a session in which President William Ruto directly engaged patients on challenges they continue to face under the new health insurance system.
We are working on a benefits package for SHA. We had an initial one because we also wanted to be sure that we don't say we are going to pay for so much and yet we had not had an experience of whether we would be able to pay or not. With the benefit of a year and a half of working with the benefit package that was there, we are now ready for a review on areas that citizens like you, Wanjiru, has come back to us and say, there is this pain point on my visit for cancer treatment.
The president directed health officials to assess the financial implications of expanding the package before making a commitment. He also called for better data on kidney disease to guide government decisions on treatment and prevention.
It is possible for us, and it is necessary. The reasoning given by Mr. Gikonyo there is to be able to effectively provide interventions, we must have a good body of data. Numbers are important.
The cost of cancer treatment and access to specialized services also featured in the summit. The president said the government is using its purchasing power to negotiate lower prices for medicines, citing an agreement that reduced the cost of one cancer drug from 135,000 shillings to 40,000 shillings.
I met the president of Pfizer once. I'm doing another appointment with him because quite a substantial part of the medicine that we are using comes from Pfizer. And our engagement with Pfizer now is that they will not be supplying our facilities individually. They will be supplying us collectively. And that is the point why Duale is saying we are going to engage them this time round so that we can negotiate the prices the same way we negotiated the prices for Roche and all the others.
Ruto also said the government is engaging pharmaceutical companies to secure lower prices for essential medicines, while urging health officials to address complaints from patients who are still paying out of pocket for services they expect SHA to cover.
We should, therefore, with the assistance of DHA, be able to work with citizens if they go to a facility and in the facility they are told either this equipment is not there, go to the next, or this medicine is not here, go to the next. They should be able to verify, This is homework for us. This is feedback for Mercy and for Anthony and the PS and Minister
for us to go and figure it out and work with the counties to make sure we get rid of that mischief.
The president said the feedback from patients will inform the ongoing review of the SHA benefit package, with health officials expected to present proposals by the end of October.
We're still collecting data on making sure that when we do an assessment of a citizen on how much they pay, we must be as near accurate as possible, so that we do not burden a citizen who has a certain ability and we misjudge them to have a different ability. So that is a good feedback, but already it is in our radar that we have a means testing instrument. We are still gathering data, and we are we're trying to access data from different sources so that we can have a much more accurate means testing instrument.
The discussions come as the government seeks to assess the first phase of SHA implementation and address gaps in access, affordability and coverage of specialized medical care. Ben Chumba, Prime Edition.
Let's stay on that bit a bit, and Kenya is stepping up efforts to reduce preventable maternal and newborn deaths through Every Woman, Every Newborn, Everywhere program. The 2-year acceleration program, launched in May 2026, is targeting 26 high-risk counties. Speaking on the final day of the Kenya Health Summit, Deputy President Professor Kioria Kindiki said efforts to improve maternal and newborn health outcomes will include the planned recruitment of 5,000 nurses and midwives.
On the last day of the Kenya Health Summit 2026, maternal and newborn health took center stage, with the Every Woman, Every Newborn, Everywhere initiative featuring prominently. The program addresses delays in seeking care, delays in reaching care, and delays in receiving quality care. According to Health Director General Dr. Patrick Amoth, Kenya has made strides, with 9 out of 10 mothers now delivering at health facilities.
And that is covered by SHA. For one of the critical used to be there, which was access to healthcare services, has by the directive of His Excellency the President, 20 resources under the Primary Healthcare Fund.
President Ruto's government has provided 4 billion shillings to all our health facilities, level 2 and level 3, where a mother will go walk in, deliver, fully paid by the government of Kenya within the Primary Health Care Fund. We have also provided, under the leadership of the President, 1 billion for life-saving maternal and newborn commodities.
We used to hear negative stories about Pumwani every day. We have recorded 0 maternal deaths.
Deputy President Professor Kioria Kindiki emphasized the need for facilities to be adequately equipped to offer quality services.
There is a commitment now at the moment of 5,000 nurses to protect, especially to make sure that
a policy becomes safe in a maternity ward. Investment becomes meaningful, survives. A becomes empowered when to save a life.
The 2-day summit provided an opportunity to take stock of the achievements in the health sector, the challenges and what needs to be done in order to attain universal health coverage. Nancy Okware reporting from KICC, Nairobi.
To the corridors of justice, and 9 persons accused of embezzling and fraudulently disbursing 1.57 billion shillings for the Rural Outreach of Financial Innovations and Technologies Profit Program have been released on bond after pleading not guilty to charges. The 9, who include officials of the National Treasury, faced varied charges, including unlawful acquisition of public property, abuse of office, money laundering, and uttering false documents. They were arrested on Tuesday by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission.
After a dramatic arrest on Tuesday and subsequent recording of statements at Integrity Center, the 9 who include officials of the National Treasury and businessmen were arraigned before Senior Principal Magistrate Rose Ndobi. accused of embezzling and fraudulently disbursing 1.57 billion shillings meant to assist rural farmers under the Rural Outreach of Financial Innovations and Technologies Profit Program, which is funded by International Fund for Agricultural Development, IFAD. The accused John Gure Kabutha, Namuel Motori Motanya, John Maina Mureithi, Gladys Juliet Oroni, Brian Kiprop Chepkarat, Ian Kwemoi Chepkarat, Joseph Kamau Kamoshe, James Omondo Ndai, and Jimmy Kata Odoyo, however, pleaded not guilty to the charges, with the lawyers arguing that they were entitled to reasonable bail and bond terms.
The purpose of bail has been established by many case laws, including the case law of Ganga versus Republic, is to secure the attendance of the accused persons in court.
Though not opposed to their release on bond, the prosecution argued for a harsher bond due to the nature of the charges and the public interest in the matter.
The question of harshness of the bail terms. There is nowhere in law I have learned or read of something called a harsh bail term. Denial of bail cannot be considered a harsh bail term. Reading it together, granting stringent bond terms, which will ensure the accused persons attend court and they respect the process.
The senior principal magistrate granted the accused persons different bail and bond terms owing to the veracity of the charges.
The amounts involved are also different, which the court has also endeavored to consider. Therefore, in granting the bond terms, the court arrives at the following decision. Considering the nature of the offense and the seriousness, the amounts involved, for the first accused person is granted a bond of Kenya shillings 10 million with a surety of similar amount.
The matter will come up for mention on the 2nd of September 2026. Bruce Mayoyo for Prime Edition.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Kenya.
Wake up with Good Morning Kenya, the morning show that's got it all.
We dive deep into issues shaping our country.
Youth are a voice of a nation.
What is the next step for the young people?
Unpacking political landscape from Monday to Wednesday.
We discuss family matters.
It is very important to guard your relationship.
And for your health.
Someone doesn't wake up and they become an addict. It's in stages.
We've got you covered each and every Tuesday at 9 a.m.
Every Wednesday, it's all about The Viewpoint.
A day in politics is like 1,000 years.
Unpacking the biggest stories of the week, getting you insights and getting you ready for your day.
And the package is not yet done. I get to fix your Thursday with some entertainment. Entertainment Thursday, it is.
Good Morning Kenya.
We shape your day.
Good Morning Kenya, every weekday morning on KBC Channel 1.
Our conversation tonight is on roads that drive Kenya's growth. And with us in studio is the chairperson of the Board of Directors, Kenha Winnie Ngumi, who joins us on set to have this very important conversation regarding how we are doing in terms of constructing our highways and the progress so far. Winnie, you're very much welcome.
Thank you.
How's it going?
Good. I'm happy to be here. Yes.
Fantastic. When Kenyans hear about highways, and of course looking at the progress of highways, much of it, they say some of these projects go unfinished or they are endless road projects. It's so much so that people will be using a highway, but there are still some there's some construction ongoing, probably from the standards of Kenya. What makes a complete highway, a complete road?
Thank you for that question, and thank you for having me. Firstly,
welcome.
The mandate of Kenya is to rehabilitate, to build, to develop and maintain national trunk roads. By this I mean the Class S, Class A and Class B roads. One might think we have endless kilometers of roads, because indeed we do. We manage about 23,800 kilometers of roads, of which 52% are paved, which means they have tarmac, and the balance, 48%, is unpaved. For some time, I know that we have looked like we have had endless projects, because we had a couple of projects that had stalled because we had accumulated pending bills, which means then there was a slowdown in implementation of the roads. And that is why maybe we looked like we had a lot of projects that were pending. But with the securitization regime that was brought on board by this government last year, I'm happy to report that all the stalled projects have resumed. All our contractors are back on site, and now there's a lot of work going on. What does a complete project look like? A complete project is one that meets the technical specifications that were provided within the contract. Okay. It is one that has been finished. We have had supervision, and all the contract requirements have been met. By this I mean that we have ensured that it is complete, it is well supervised, the contract is closed, all the road furniture is in place, the marking is in place, the drainage structures are all complete, and now it is suitable for use by Kenyans. Yes, so that is at that point when we consider that a road project is actually complete.
All right.
Yes.
Let's talk about securitization for a bit, because again, what has affected the progress of construction of roads or construction of highways is that debt, where contractors leave site, and then you have a situation that could even go up to 10 or so years. How are we doing in terms of managing the debt that we owe contractors as a country?
I must say that over time, within the road sector, the road agencies, including Kenya, accumulated pending bills, because we have operated within a very constrained financial regime where our budgets are not adequate to meet our requirements. And this has led to contractors not being paid. But I want to say that the current government did indeed come up with an innovative financing model under the securitization plan, which means that they created road infrastructure bonds, which were secured against the RMLF, which is the Road Maintenance Fund. And now this was able to unlock cash that was able to pay contractors to the tune of 175 billion. I want to say that there is no mystery about this. This is an innovation, and it has come to unlock the cash that has been availed to pay work that had been done. This is work that had been done prior to 2024. And over a couple of months, starting around April 2025, contractors have been paid. As a matter of fact, today, we do not have pending bills. We only have pending bills that are current. I believe that you are aware maybe that our Cabinet Secretary and our PS today met with our management and contractors to discuss and to give them assurance that the securitization funds are indeed coming to pay them, and we do not have pending bills at the moment. Yes.
Very interesting. Let me take you to another concern regarding highways. And of course, you've had this phrase, highways of death, and things like that. For example, Outer Ring Road is one of very dangerous roads in the country. Other than completion and ensuring that road is good for use by motorists, how do you ensure safety as Kenya for motorists using these wonderful roads?
Yes, so first let me say that road safety starts with you and me. Road safety is all about how we use our roads. And the data, post-crash data, has shown that most accidents are actually indeed caused by user behavior. They are caused by the users and how they use the roads. That notwithstanding, Kenya has a mandate on road safety, which we derive from the MTP4, where ours is to ensure that we design roads that support road safety measures. There is a national road safety policy in place. It is also our mandate to ensure that this policy implemented. We work very closely with NTSA, with the National Police Service and other agencies to support the policy implementation of road safety. That notwithstanding, Kenya indeed has a department that has been mandated with accountability for road safety. This department is in charge of ensuring that we standardize road humps. I know there has been a lot of talk about standardization of road bumps and humps. We are ensuring through the revamped road design manuals that the bumps are standardized. We are ensuring that we are focusing on the road furniture. We are improving on our road marking, the quality and the consistency of the road marking. We are ensuring that road signage is in place and everything else, guardrails to support road safety initiatives. From a strategic point of view, we're also looking at the designs of the roads. We have had instances where we've had to redesign. You will be aware that Salga used to have a lot of road accidents. When we separated the traffic, the incoming and oncoming traffic, then we've had a remarkable reduction in road accidents. We've also had the redesigning of the Nithi Bridge that is ongoing. This is a road safety initiative which is also really going to curb the accidents around that road. So we are doing a lot of things to support the road safety initiatives, but I want to say that road safety starts with you and me.
Which reminds me, Winnie, during the President Kenyatta's administration, and I'm talking about Kenyatta too, President Uhuru Kenyatta, there was a directive to Kenya for the removal of all bumps on Kenyan highways. Is that directive still on course, or it was lifted?
Let me say that road design is a very technical process, and we work around. We work within the road design manuals. So we have specifications and standards that we have to adhere to when we are designing roads. It is indeed true that highways should not necessarily have bumps in place. However, we make our decisions to secure the safety of the users, and indeed at some places we have to have bumps. So yes, we do have bumps and humps and rubble strips on our roads, but these are technical solutions, and we ensure that we mark them and have signage in place to warn users of where we have this road safety initiatives. Yes.
I want to take you back to the securitization question, because the construction of highways and at the speed that they're supposed to be dealing with has in many times been affected by the issue of limited funding. Can we say now with the securitization that we are out of the woods, and then the speed of constructing these highways will be as fast as Kenyans would anticipate?
Financing road infrastructure is multifaceted. There are very many ways you can fund road infrastructure. Securitization is just one way that has come in to solve a problem. It came in to solve the problem of pending bills that had accrued over time. We are largely funded by the national government, by the Exchequer, and also with the development partners, where we seek finance from development partners and banks and institutions that fund us. We will always have limited resources because the infrastructure gap continues to grow. Our network continues to grow. It is continuing to age. So we will always experience shortfalls in funding. That notwithstanding, a responsible board like ours has come up with alternative solutions. We have just passed an on-source revenue strategy which seeks to monetize and commercialize our road assets, which now long-term is going to support the access to finance. We will also be able to generate funds. We are working very close with our Ministry of Roads and Transport to support initiatives like tolling. We are supporting the tolling policy that is currently awaiting gazetting, and other initiatives that will come in to support funding. I'm sure you're aware of the PPP model that has come to fund projects like the Nairobi Expressway and the Rironi, Nakuru, Mau Summit roads. These are alternative finance models that are going to come to reduce the fiscal pressure that comes from the demands that come from the road projects. Yeah.
Let me take you to some of our roads, some of the popular roads that we're using now.
Yes.
The Thika Superhighway, the Outer Ring Road. But they, at some point, I think about 5 years ago, the government had to redesign the exit from Outer Ring Road to join Thika Road. And I'm talking about the accountability mechanism from Kenya for contractors to ensure that the work that they were contracted for is finished and done to quality standards? Because there are those who argue the drainage system along Outer Ring Road is totally, I would say, out of order. So how do you ensure that there is accountability by contractors for the work that you've given them?
Yes, we are aware as an authority that there are complaints from Kenyans and users of various roads within our corridor and within the sister agencies. Outer Ring Road might not necessarily be one of ours, but we work very closely with our sister agencies to ensure that there is quality within the State Department or the roads that are constructed by contractors. At Kenya, quality is actually core to our vision, and we say that our vision is to deliver quality national trunk road to all for prosperity. So we are very conscious about quality. As a corporate entity, we have ensured that we've put mechanisms in place. We have a very robust quality management system. We have inspectors. We have an organostructure that supports and ensures that we resource the quality processes. We have complied with global international standards. We are ISO certified. That is within the corporate space. And then we ensure that we cascade and inform all our contractors about the standards we expect of our roads. In terms of implementation, we are highly audited firm. So corporate. So we ensure that we align to all the quality standards that have been set to ensure that we deliver against the specifications that we provide. That notwithstanding, we for example, I know recently there's been complaints about Kisumu Busia Road, where there has been potholes. Some of these roads are aged. They are an aging network, and really the intervention that is required is rehabilitation. So where we find that we have constrained resources, then we are constrained to do interventions that we know are short-term as we seek resources. For example, for the Kisumu Busia Road, we are working within there's a project called the Lake Victoria Ring Roads, and we are proposing that we can finance the rehabilitation of this road through this mechanism. So sometimes it's a mix of issues, but we are conscious and we are doing our level best to ensure that we seal all potholes within our maintenance regimes.
You spoke about your sister agencies. And looking at the Nairobi traffic, for example, most roads really coming into Nairobi experiences such a grind lock. What is KENHA doing alongside your sister agencies to ensure that you ease the situation, particularly in the city?
Yes, so the issue around traffic congestion has to be looked at from a strategic and a global perspective, and it requires multi-sectoral or multi-agency approach. And we are working with KURA, Kenya Urban Road Authority, and with the county government to find solutions, including agencies like NAMATA, to find solutions, especially around Nairobi. Our strategies together with them include issues like diverting network diversions. For example, if you look at Nairobi Expressway, so we were able to divert some traffic up and leave some on the lower roads. We are looking at capacity enhancement together with our sister agencies, and you might be aware that we are doing capacity enhancement of the JKIA to James Gishuru section. We are looking at areas where we manage, we separate traffic on junctions. We do strategic junction management. This case in point, what we did at TRM, we were able to enhance the capacity and reduce traffic congestion. We are looking at asset management, how we manage our assets. Thika Road is one of the ones we manage to ensure that there's continuous flow of traffic. Separation of motorized and unmotorized traffic, which is use of footbridges, are things that we are doing to ensure that we are conscious about managing congestion. We have just been onboarded to take over the BRT line 2, which is the line from Roiro through CBD, Nairobi CBD, which is a trailway all through to Kenyatta National Hospital. And this is one of the strategies that we are working with NAMATA to ensure that we continuously decongest traffic, to ensure that we are considering multimodal integrated transport solutions, to ensure that even we build intelligent transport system to solve this problem. So it's a long-term approach, and we are working together with a lot of agencies and players with the support of our parent ministry.
Absolutely.
Yes.
The government has started preparing itself, obviously, after the weather one warned that El Nino is coming. How is KENHA prepared? Because at times we've seen roads being washed away after floods come, and you see a section of one country cuts away from, you know, another section. So what is KENHA doing in preparation for this El Nino rains?
There are a lot of things. We have also gone through some tough lessons. We've had seasons where there's been a lot of flooding on our road, and we have experienced massive washaways of within our networks across the whole country. So we are really prepared, and we have put in place mitigation measures to ensure that our management and our contractors are ready to deal with the effects of El Nino. Right now we have a directive across all our networks, all our 10 regional offices and our 4 corridor management offices, to ensure that all drainage systems are free of any encumbrances. We are ensuring that culverts are open, that that we have framework contracts in place to respond to these emergencies as they may appear. As a corporate or as an institution, we have put in place resources to continuously look at how we promote climate resilience within the design. We are looking at designing roads that are more climate resilient, that respond better to floods or siltation. We have even onboarded geological studies, for example, at Suswa or in Nakuru, where we've had issues related to movement of earth that is affecting the stability of the road. So there's a lot of things that we are doing, looking at materials that extend the life cycle of roads. We are looking at redesigning our structures. We have a robust bridge management system that is keeping on checking the vulnerabilities of our bridge. So we are prepared, and we are ready to deal with El Nino and any other climate situations that may come through the changes in climate that we are currently experiencing.
Ali, you referenced the public-private partnership that goes obviously to the construction of roads, for example, like the Rironi Mau Summit Road. And the question is for many Kenyans, because I think that's the same model that we have for the Nairobi, that is the expressway to JKI. And the question, is this a silver bullet then to that very long dream we've had of improved infrastructure? And that, by that, I mean roads.
So PPP, which is the model that has been used to finance Nairobi Expressway, which was the first project that was financed under the PPP model, and now the Rironi Nakuru Mau Summit Road is being funded and implemented under a similar model, is one of the alternative financing models for road projects today. It is a very good solution because it leverages, government is able to leverage private capital. So government will naturally provide the frameworks for institutional and regulatory approach, and the private sector comes in and provides finance and the delivery over the concession period. So it is one of the ways that we can secure road financing. Tolling is another one. Road user pay models, where you use, you pay. These models, because they are during the concession period, these funds will be reinvested to maintain the roads, and we have set service level standards that ensure that these roads are kept to the standards that we expect, will ultimately improve the service levels of our roads. So it is just one of the ways that can be used to finance road projects. It is not the only way. I see that we will keep having the hybrid or blended model of financing, where we will still rely on the standard traditional models, where we get exchequer funding in as much as it is constrained, while we look for alternative solutions for funding like PPP and tolling.
It's good you mentioned tolling. How do you cushion motorists? Because there are those who ask, for example, the Rironi Mau Summit Road, if I was using this road without it being tolled, why should I now be forced to pay toll to use the new road? So in the whole conversation around funding, which is very important, how do you then cushion motorists? They don't feel like they're being pushed to a corner to fund the construction of other roads?
So, two things here. That we are providing alternative roads, that you can still get to Nakuru from Rironi using alternative routes. You can still get to Mau Summit using alternative routes, and we will be communicating more aggressively about these alternative routes. So we are not forcing Kenyans to use these roads, but a lot of investment is coming onto this road. We are expanding the capacity. We have all suffered on these roads. We have slept on these roads because of various challenges and bottlenecks. So an investor has come in, rightfully so, and they have put in their money to expand the capacity, improve the standards, and ensure that it is maintained to a certain expected service levels. So they have invested and they expect a return. As an institution, what we do is ensure that we have independent consultants that keep tabs on these roads. We ensure that there will be accountability with regards to tolls. We will ensure that there's transparency. And we ensure that even the tolls that are, the charges that are put in place are reasonable and are sensitive to the status of the economy, of the economic status of the Kenyans. So we'll ensure accountability and transparency with regards to the management of these tolls and our tolling partners.
Internal mechanisms for fighting corruption, very quickly, because I'm told my time is up. Internal mechanisms for accountability, because you talk about tolling, which is a fantastic idea, but then how do we ensure that these monies go to the projects they are meant for and they do not end up in people's pockets at Kenya?
So it is natural to perceive that where there are large budgets and large projects, that there would be corruption issues. I would not say that they don't exist, but as a board, we have put in place robust anti-corruption and anti-bribery measures. We have put in place policies, frameworks. We are working very closely with the SEC. We are cascading these frameworks and sensitizing our staff. We are working very closely with all our offices to ensure that we are consistently sensitizing and teaching our staff about anti-bribery and anti-corruption. We have whistleblowing policies. We have ensured that we are open to receiving information where it is perceived or where there are complaints. Digitization has come in to also really shore up the fight against corruption. For example, all our way bridges and all our systems around the way bridges are digitized. So we are doing quite a lot. We have management processes, we have sanctions, we have terminated staff where we've been able to prove that they were culpable, and we are working also with the DCI and EACC and all other institutions to support ourselves and ensure that we are able to be accountable and deliver value for money.
In 30 seconds, this is on a lighter note. There are those who say Kenya is a little bit harsh on motorists. Mtu amekwama kwa barabara, ameishiwa na gede. Gede ni mafuta.
Nimeelewa.
Ameishiwa na gede. But you guys want to kumvuta mpeleke petrol station na just jilipie bill.
Sisi tuna encourage Kenyans to ensure that they operate with the tanks that have adequate fuel. We actually, all our maintenance regimes, especially on key highways, you will notice this on Kiambu Road, on Thika Road, we have patrol cars that come, their work is to support, to remove those vehicles on the road so that the other users cannot be disrupted. We ensure that we support them to get to where they need to go, but it is our mandate. Our mandate is to ensure that traffic is flowing, and where there is a disruption, we solve it as fast as possible. We are not harsh. We are very collaborative, and we are supporting our users.
I like how you use the word support. You support them to move to the next.
Yes.
Interesting. Winnie Nguvi, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Asante sana. The chairperson of the Board of Directors, Kenha, joining us tonight to talk about the state of our highways and how much progress we are making. We take a short break. It's business news. Don't go too far.
For the main Mambo ni matatu. Channel 1, 2, Saturday. Rumba. Vile tu amesema ndani ya nyumba, ndani ya kipindi na rumba miziki tamu sana. Every Saturday from 10 p.m. to midnight, join me, Simeon Mfumu Kimbangu, the Rumba Supreme Leader, alongside DJ Mato Sibor mwenyewe. Rumba ya PDG ndani ya Bridge over Congo, KBC Channel 1, Toleka.
In a world where news is ever changing, staying informed is more important than ever.
Join us every week on News Check, your go-to show for the latest in current affairs, breaking news and in-depth analysis.
A warm welcome to KBC News Check.
From politics to global events, we bring you content that matter to you.
We're not just speaking about the governance and how we want to see it, but want to actually participate.
Get your facts, hear from the experts, and really understand what is happening around you.
We need to change our system first.
You have to do the impossible
Yes.
to make sure the message is home.
Stay ahead, stay informed, stay engaged.
Will these people, everybody agree?
Just listen to me.
Let's give him a chance to clear the air.
Catch News Check every Tuesday and Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Only on KBC Channel 1.
Well, time for us now to do business. And Kenya plans to import 25 million bags of maize to bridge a looming maize deficit occasioned by poor long rains this year. The government says reduced harvest in several food-producing counties is expected to create a shortfall of nearly 25 million bags. Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe says arrangements for the imports are already in place to cushion Kenyans from possible hunger.
Maize is a key staple food in Kenya, with the country consuming about 75 million bags annually. However, production has been affected by drought and other climate with reduced harvests in several food-producing regions expected to create a shortfall of nearly 25 million bags.
The reason why I think there is that concern is because of the climatic conditions that we are experiencing. For example, there is a drought within most of the areas where we grow our maize. And these are some of the things we are talking about transformation. For example, over-reliance on rain-fed agriculture. It is time for us to move more into irrigation and irrigation-fed agriculture.
Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe says the government has already made arrangements to import the maize, assuring Kenyans that measures are in place to safeguard food supplies and prevent a shortage.
Yes, we will import maize. We have already made arrangements for that. So it's not a big deal. We will manage. The country is not going to go hungry.
While the imports are expected to address the immediate gap, it is also working to increase local production and reduce the impact of weather-related disruptions on farming.
Looking at the challenges that we have within the agricultural sector and how to do a number of things. Number one is how to be more productive. In other words, each farmer to produce more than they have been producing within the same setup that they have got.
Among the measures being pursued is the expansion of irrigation through projects such as Galana Kulalu, aimed at increasing agricultural production and reducing reliance on rainfall. At the same time, plans are underway to roll out a program which will focus on increasing farm productivity, value addition, and creating jobs through agriculture to make farming more productive and attractive to young people.
And the reason why we keep on talking about job creation is because it will inform policy decisions that we have to make in the agricultural sector.
Ndotamo Kami for Prime Edition.
Now, Kenya and the European Union are racing to finalize a data protection adequacy pact to help unlock European investment in Kenya's fledgling digital industry. If the pact is signed, it will make Kenya the first African country to qualify for the status. Information and Communication Principal Secretary John Tanui says the recognition would ease the flow of personal data between Kenya and the EU.
Kenya is seeking to secure an EU adequacy decision for its data protection framework, a process the government says has taken more than 3 years. ICT and Digital Economy Principal Secretary John Tanui says the political process within the European Union is expected to begin next month. If successful, Kenya would become the first African country to secure the recognition, allowing personal data to flow between Kenya and the EU with few additional safeguards.
We are equally advancing on data adequacy. This is compliance on issues of data protection, personal data protection, and we want to achieve the level of EU standard. And we've gone through a very rigorous process which has taken us more than 3 years.
This, he says, will particularly benefit small businesses seeking to serve European clients while positioning Kenya as a competitive destination for global business services.
Kenya would be the 29th EU country in digital terms. That's the recognition level that we've reached, and it has taken a lot of effort going through the rigorous process and ensuring that our legislation, the policies are compliant.
Kenya is positioning itself to benefit from the rapid growth of AI and cloud computing, already hosting about half of East Africa's live data center capacity. The government is also finalizing an AI and emerging technologies policy focused on safeguards for data protection, ethics, risks, and algorithmic bias.
The Kenya Commercial Bank plans to issue a 5-year medium-term note to raise 300 billion shillings to fund green projects. The bank says the funds will go towards projects in renewable energy, green buildings, affordable housing, sustainable agriculture and water management. KCB Group Chief Executive Paul Russo says the framework will direct capital towards projects that contribute to a more resilient and sustainable economy.
Sustainable finance is increasingly being used to channel capital into projects that address environmental challenges while supporting inclusive economic development. The Kenya Commercial Bank Chief Executive Paul Russo says the new framework will allow funds raised through sustainability bonds to be directed to eligible green, blue, and social projects.
The framework we are launching today is designed to translate our long-standing sustainability ambition into a clear, credible and scalable capital mobilization platform.
These include renewable green buildings, clean transport, sustainable water management and agriculture, as well as financing for women, youth and small businesses.
Kenya has made strong commitment to sustainable development. Our task now is to translate these commitments into investments, jobs, enterprises, and measurable impact.
The framework, which received a sustainability quality score of 2, rated very good by Moody's, sets out how eligible projects will be identified and selected for financing. Russo says the initiative builds on the bank's efforts to use financing to support projects with environmental and social impact.
Celebrating an important milestone in our ambition to shape a financial system that does not only facilitate economic activity, but one that actively directs capital towards building a more inclusive, a more resilient, and a sustainable future of Africa.
KCB says it has disbursed more than 180 billion shillings in green loans since 2022, including 48.8 billion shillings last year to projects across its regional markets. The financing supported renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, green buildings, clean transport, water management, and other climate-smart investments. Ndutamo Kami for Prime Edition.
And Equity Group has recorded a 45.5 billion shillings in net profit during the first 6 months of this year, representing a 32% increase that was driven by a 36% rise in non-funded income. Total assets expanded 20% to 2.16 trillion shillings, driven by a 19% growth in the loan book to 981 billion shillings. Equity Group says Equity Group has not recommended any interim dividend payout to its shareholders.
Equity Group increased its net loans and advances from 825.1 billion shillings to 981 billion shillings. From this, the lender booked 69.3 billion shillings in net interest income, representing a 17% growth that was a reflection of the group's lending franchise and disciplined balance sheet management.
The market has responded well, but we feel an organization growing 40% in profit, single-digit NPLs should not be trading at book value.
And yes, we have a dividend payout of 30 to 50%. We're currently at the lower end. But as the subsidiaries, both bank, non-bank, start to expand their returns, you'll see naturally the dividends expand as well.
In addition, non-funded income jumped 36% to 55.6 billion shillings, contributing 44.5% of the group's total income. Customer deposits rose 21% to 1.59 trillion shillings, helping push total assets by about 20% to 2.16 trillion shillings. Gross non-performing loans reduced by 22% to 108.4 billion shillings, prompting the lender to reduce the loan loss provision by 6.1% to 6.47 billion shillings. Kenya was the main anchor of the profits, with the regional subsidiaries accounting for 42% of the banking profitability.
And so return on equity, Kenya at 35 and DRC at 22. Return on asset, Kenya at 4.8 and DRC at 3.2.
But also the operational leverage we are seeing in the business with the cost to income coming down. As we digitize, as we put in place more technology into the business, you'll see a lot more operational leverage, i.e. revenue growing much faster than costs because of the digital nature of how we generate our revenue stream.
Regina Manyara reporting for KBC Channel 1.
Another bank, the Standard Chartered Bank, has announced a 16.8% drop half in net profit to 6.7 billion shillings, weighed down by lower interest income. Despite the reduction in profit, the lender has recommended an interim dividend payout of 8 shillings and 60 cents per share, which is about 50 cents more than what the bank offered shareholders during a similar period last year.
Standard Chartered Bank Kenya plans to spend 3.29 billion shillings on interim dividends after proposing to pay 8 shillings and 50 cents per share to shareholders next month. This is despite a reduction in profits by 16.83% to 6.7 billion shillings. Net interest income fell 19.8% to 12.3 billion shillings as lower rates and margin pressures offset growth in lending volumes. This was mainly driven by a 14.2% decline in interest income on loans and advances and a 34.9% reduction on interest income on government securities. Overall, the lender increased net loans and advances to customers from 152.2 billion shillings to 169.2 billion shillings, driven by growth in transaction banking and wealth solutions. This was key in pushing up Standard Chartered Bank Kenya's total asset by 12.4% to 418.1 billion shillings. On the other hand, the gross non-performing loans reduced 6.4% to 8.97 billion shillings, prompting the lender to reduce loan loss provision by 57% to 508 million shillings. Customer deposits increased 9% to 309 billion shillings, driven by growth in corporate deposits. Benson Drioba reporting for Prime Edition.
Back to Equity Bank. It has sealed a deal with Proto Energy to unlock financing for motorists and institutions keen to shift to LPG for cooking or powering their vehicles. The licensing is expected to support investment in LPG infrastructure, equipment installation and related solutions, helping institutions overcome the significant upfront costs associated with transitioning to LPG.
There were about 20,000 vehicles in Kenya that had been converted to autogas by the end of 2024. The latest deal between Equity Bank Kenya and Proto Energy seeks to accelerate the transition to autogas and double the number of autogas converted vehicles to 40,000.
We are offering you a solution that you'll be able to pay less but actually get more value out of it. The substitution that we are looking here for our those in the transport business or those with vehicles is that we'll give you a cheaper energy source, but it actually has more calorific value.
Proto Energy is expected to provide the technical expertise and conversion solutions to dual-fuel autogas systems, while Equity Bank will provide the financing to make the transition more affordable and accessible to vehicle owners.
Equity will stand for is then to facilitate you through that conversion process, and we've readied ourselves to ensure that it's as seamless and less painful through that.
The deal also targets to help educational institutions and other organizations shift from cooking using firewood or charcoal to LPG.
The beauty of it is that agreement today we are signing is not just an MOU about the things we want, but it's mostly about a transition where we want to transition to cleaner energy, more affordable, but more so that we are telling Kenyans that you cannot have barriers for you to have that access. And we want to help the institutions that are using diesel, firewood, HFOs, and all those other fuels to move to cleaner energy.
Ezekiel Owino reporting for Prime Edition.
Do you think he's someone you can trust?
Uko hai bado. Nafaa kushukuru Mungu.
Marvin anajua niko hai.
History ni wewe na mimi pekee yake ndio tunajua.
And the more different people say the same thing about him, the more I think I was wrong.
Umekuja nini?
So when uliniita babe?
Jana, si leo.
I'm your wife. He's your son.
Nini mbaya?
Sema Vintu na visirani zake.
Sasa nikiacha kitu nilikuwa nafanya nikuje nisikie Kenya unataka kuniambia.
Anauza silver kawa ile Waarabu wa Marvin.
What's happening?
Kuna watu walikuwa na trail.
Na hata kidogo hata wanitoe nje kwa barabara nikiendesha gari.
A very good evening to you. My name is Daniel Wahome and welcome to Prime Edition Sports. The official launch of the Anoka Zone 5 Youth Games has taken place in Nairobi, setting the stage for the zonal youth competition that will bring together athletes from 11 countries.
Scheduled to run from August 24th to 28th, with Kenya set to compete in 7 disciplines. Nairobi will be hosting athletes from 11 countries for 5 days of competition as the region seeks to showcase and nurture the next generation of sports.
We have exhibited our prowess as a nation in terms of performance, and Kenya has been the voice of recon in the continent. That one goes without saying.
These games are more than competition. They are about developing our young talent, building partnerships, building friendships across the borders, and giving our young people an opportunity to experience the values of Olympism.
Kenya will be represented across 7 disciplines, with the country hoping to use the home advantage to deliver strong performances.
As athletes, we cannot wait to live the Olympic spirit, and we promise to compete with honor and discipline, and we look forward to an exciting games.
I want to be very clear that as government of Kenya, we take pride in this hosting because we know by hosting Anoka Zone 5, we are not just hosting sports, but we are also using this opportunity to inspire our economic ecosystem.
Speaking during the official launch, Sports Cabinet Secretary Salim Mvurya said Kenya is focused on using the games as part of broader strategy to identify, develop and nurture talents for future sport.
We made our point very clear that the next Commonwealth Games should be organized in Africa. I know Nigeria has applied. But I also want to say Kenya is ready also.
And the construction of the 60,000-seater Raila Odinga International Stadium at the Talanta Sports Complex in Nairobi is now more than 92% complete. Sports Cabinet Secretary Salim Mvurya says the landmark facility is expected to become one of Kenya's defining sporting infrastructure projects.
The massive construction project is entering its final phase 4 years after it was first envisioned. Sports CS Salim Mvurya says the stadium is nearing completion and will significantly enhance Kenya's sporting infrastructure. The 60,000-seater facility is being developed as Kenya's first purpose-built football stadium, with its design targeting the highest standards set by the Confederation of African Football (CAF).
We will play matches before AFCON. But we also want to make sure that we deliver a quality facility. And right now, with the work that is ongoing there, we don't want to compromise on the standards, especially the areas that CAF have recommended, which we have now to accommodate. Some of it will occasion some structural adjustment.
The stadium is part of the wider Talanta Sports Complex, which will also feature 3 additional pitches.
We will also have a roadmap to prepare Harambee Stars, and we'll be rallying all Kenyans, both in the public and the private sector, to support our team and to profile our team.
The pitches are designed to accommodate a range of sporting activities, including athletics, rugby and football.
Well, the story that I was supposed to read today was about Faith Kipyegon competing in Italy at the Silesia Diamond League meeting, but she has released a statement, and this is going to be heartfelt for many people. I'll read it verbatim. As athletes, we ask a lot from our bodies. There is also a thin line between being fit and the risk of injury. Since the end of May, I have been dealing with a hamstring injury, and unfortunately, it needs a bit longer to recover than I had hoped. I know that taking care of it now is the most important thing I can do to come back to my best. So for now, I will take time to heal, recover, and get stronger. I will be back. Faith Kipyegon, get well soon. We really would like to see you at the Ultimate Games and also at Athlos in London and New York. Get well soon. And remember, Diamond League action resumes this weekend, and KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner, will take care of that. My name is Daniel Wahome. Back to you, John Jacob Kioria, before DJ D-Rage and Mali Moses take over with the reggae vibes.
All right, thank you, Wahome, for the sports news. And of course, as you say, we wish Faith Kipyegon all the best as she deals with that hamstring injury. Time for us now to put a cap on Prime Edition. Thank you very much for your company. God bless you. Good night. See you around.